Hello! Thank you for sticking with us for our continued San Diego 2018 Comic-Con coverage. Those are words. You know what is not a word? This. Roar! Godzilla is my favorite trailer. It is the favorite thing, besides Joe Cena interview, to come out of this Comic-Con for me. I could not be more elated, delighted, excited, all of the things to see this monster mashup. This is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which is a song coming to you and my Spoken Word album, but there's one song in 2019. Joe, what did you think of Godzilla?
Day 3 here at San Diego Comic-Con. The train has finally jumped the tracks.
We're such dicks. Because you can see Roth in her eyes go, get me out of whatever this is. And we just sit and go.
Nope. You got yourself in, you get yourself out.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I really do love this trailer. It's, talk about it a little bit.
I think, look, just like with Aquaman, they were like, we're going underwater and it's going to be bonkers. I think this is the first modern Godzilla remake to me that just, they're like, you know what? It's Godzilla King of Monsters. Let's throw all the toys in there and let's make them punch each other. I enjoyed the last Godzilla, but it also felt like a sort of a slow-paced psychological thriller, and I didn't like the thing that he fought very much. I don't even remember it.
Mutos.
Okay, thank you. And, Kong was really, really cool. I enjoyed Kong. I'm excited to see how he eventually gets into this, but I think continuing the theme that the DC trailers gave us, this is just someone going, let's just make a batshit crazy Godzilla movie that we want to make.
We saw Ghidorah, we saw Rodan, we saw Mothra, and you said...
That's right. The director of the film, Michael Dougherty. I feel bad. It's one of those names. I want to get the pronunciation.
Dougherty. Anyway, he directed Trick or Treat and Krampus.
Yes. He said, he ran down, of course, we saw all those monsters. He said, who's going to be, again, fan question, who's going to be in the movie? Obviously, Mothra, King Ghidorah,
Ghidorah.
Rodan.
No, I mean, it's fine.
But he said, and we have some surprises in store. So he referred to them as the Toho crown jewels, as to who is in this film. But at the same time, left the door open, as we pointed out, this is moving towards a Kong Godzilla showdown in a couple of years, and he hinted that there was some stuff left to be revealed in this movie. However, the one thing he did reveal that Godzilla fans are familiar with that will be in this film, he said, you will hear the classic Godzilla music in this movie. Bear McCreary, who is a great composer, he announces on board to do this film. He did Battlestar Galactica, the TV show, and a lot of other great stuff. So I agree, Joe. They are embracing the canon and I think the history of the character. I was a fan of the first Godzilla movie. I actually liked it a lot.
I did too. I will defend Godzilla. I will. We can team movie fight for it.
But I think they made it in a way that opens the door for them to now really embrace the history and the tone of the previous movies, or at least blend them.
Yeah. Well, okay, this is a side note. I actually, you know what? We'll just do it a different time because that's about that movie. Now, on this movie, I certainly understand the complaints about that movie, and I think this movie is solving it from what we're seeing here. You got plenty of monsters on display, which is wonderful for fans of monsters. And then the interesting thing to me is, though, tonally, and this is a great cast. You got Millie Bobby Brown, you got Vera Farmiga in this movie, is that they are taking this track with the narrative that's become quite popular, this idea that we are a virus and the earth has a fever, right? Which...
And the only cure.
Godzilla. Is Godzilla, which is... Well, in reality, it's more cowbell.
It is, yes.
But in the world of this movie, it's Godzilla, which is kind of the only way I want to see that particular narrative addressed. You know what I mean? I know that people love that idea.
I want professors to use this in med school now to explain to doctors in training and people in med school. Like, okay, let's say you're sick and these white blood cells, they're like Mothra. And I want just a textbook.
We got to get your King Ghidorah count up.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. And I don't know My brain doesn't work.
You were in
It's a
Hall H
long
for so
day.
long.
First of all, day one of Comic-Con, we left you in a maze for about 22 hours. and
I
then
was
you were
locked
just
in a
Hall
room
H.
for
Yeah.
a whole day.
Yeah.
I was.
It's been a long
It's been
day.
a very long day.
Yeah, I'm gonna write
Not
a
only were
poem
you
about
locked
it.
in a room, but you were locked in a room with people pretending to be cultists. And that was weird.
Yeah. With the people who created the show and acted in it that were in the room with it was a very kind of fourth wall breaking, but at the same time, it was so. I can't imagine what it was like for them.
I'm just glad
Yeah.
you're here, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're talking about this, Warner. Did they say anything about the future of this franchise? Like you said, we know that Kong versus Godzilla is coming.
I think they know that everyone knows that Kong versus Godzilla is coming, and they acknowledge that. I think more than anything, they really just sort of played it pretty close to the vest on this, even with this movie. The biggest revelation, other than that awesome trailer, which I love, and I might be the last person on this planet to not know this, I didn't know that Millie Bobby Brown is British.
Oh,
And so when she started talking, I was a little surprised. Maybe I'm just crazy. It's always stunning when you have Christian Bale for me
Yeah.
for a while. I was like, oh, that's right. He's not. He just plays.
Here's my theory, and I honestly believe this is true. 85% of actors are British, and they're all really frustratingly good at American accents.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating that we can't get it the
Do
other
the
way around.
reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the best we have is maybe Renee Zellweger, and that was not necessarily the best. Almost every actor is
British or
is a
Australian.
British or Australian person.
Yeah.
And she was, with due respect to everyone, Vera Farmiga was there. Like I said, the director of the film was there. They had some of the cast members there that I'm blanking out at the moment. But Millie Bobby Brown was obviously the crowd
pleaser.
favorite. I think
Everybody loves Bobby
everybody loves Millie Bobby Brown, particularly from Stranger Things. She got a couple Stranger Things question. So they have kind of harnessed that energy, I think, and kind of ported it over to this project as well.
Oh, there's a reason she's the
So-
first shot of the trailer.
Yeah.
Also in the film is Kyle Chandler.
Yes,
Who
not
can
there.
who can proclaim things like no other human, like whatever he's saying, we just believe that it's true, It's like if he just said to us right now, we must charge this monster, we certainly would. Ken Watanabe is in this movie. O'Shea Jackson Jr.
He was there. He was one of the cast members that was there. Yes.
Yes, awesome. Bradley Whitford,
Not there.
not there.
Oh, sweet
Okay.
Bradley Whitford.
Thomas Middleditch,
He was there.
he was there.
Yeah.
Great,
My
wonderful.
apologies to O'Shea Jackson Jr. and Thomas Middleditch, who were excised from my memory briefly.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway from this is that we're all 100% on board for Godzilla.
I don't know what else you can do to make this feel more like the original run of these films. I mean, you maybe Mechagodzilla at some point. I really hope Mothra has those two little fairy women.
You can't keep.
I know, that's the one thing I was honestly waiting for that with this trailer. Once they were just showing everything, I was like, are the two little tiny women that sing for Mothra going to show up?
One can hope.
Yeah.
There'll be something, a little.
Yeah.
A little nod to it in some way.
Yeah.
Also on display was Fantastic Beasts. There was a new trailer released today. Johnny Depp was there. How did that go over?
That was the only moment that I think in the panel that didn't go terribly, in the sense that it wasn't a total flop, but they sort of tried to do their Loki moment. They're talking and the lights go down and they come back up and Grindelwald is standing there. I don't know if it was the character choice or if it was just Johnny Depp kind of being Johnny Depp, but he sort of just kind of did a weird monologue. I wasn't sure if he was making it up or as he was going along or just kind of doing a ramble. And then he just kind of left. That was the only moment I think of the whole WB presentation. That
He may have thought he was checking into his hotel.
A bit of a flop, only because it came at the very end. And everyone was, the whole rest of the cast out of character were just kind of sitting there like, okay. It was a very odd moment. So the trailer I thought was well received. The Nicholas Flamel reveal for Harry Potter heads, obviously.
It's very exciting.
It's
Potterheads.
Potterheads.
Yeah.
Was a huge moment when they said that name. Of course, a lot of people were excited about that. And Eddie Redmayne came out and they had little wristbands for everybody, and he was swishing his wand at people, and things were lighting up.
That's fun.
Everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
Jude Law was there. And yeah, I don't know. As far as the trailer goes, this is a movie, if I'm being honest, I didn't have a whole lot of interest in after the first one. But that trailer didn't look too bad.
Well, I think this is going to be a very different movie. I mean, this is a movie that is really about set in the world of Harry Potter, meaning characters that we know, Dumbledore, and things that were unexplored in the movies that do exist to some degree in the books. I think for fans of it, myself, Spencer Gilbert, who is not here, so we'll talk about this more when he is around. There's nothing that you could. Okay, let me not say that. There's very little that would happen that would make me not want to see this movie.
Sure.
I am just already immediately on board, probably in the way that anyone is with just a franchise and a character that they love, that even looks halfway decent, and it looks like it might be good. There's some casting that is what it is. I still want to see the film, but yeah. They didn't show, it wasn't so radically different, this trailer, than what we've seen other than that reveal.
No.
A little more of Grindelwald.
A little more Grindelwald, and I think that they did, the shot that I found the most sort of interesting, given what has kind of already bubbled up about this movie, was the shot of Dumbledore looking into what I assume to be the mirror of Erised, which is, shows you what your heart wants most, and seeing Grindelwald there.
Oh.
Because there's been
Check
a
out
lot of
Ravenclaw over here.
Slytherin, actually.
Oh, that's
strangely.
Scary.
I know, right? A little scary. Just because there's been so much kind of made about is this franchise going to diminish or minimize the relationship between these two characters, which J.K. Rowling has come out and said post the novels being written was at least on Dumbledore's part a gay relationship. But then this movie, they said there's not going to be an acknowledgement. I thought that shot for me was sort of hinting that perhaps
they'll lean in a little bit.
They are going to lean into that angle, if not in this movie, then further down the road. But just one shot in a trailer, who knows? That could be their subtle way, and then they never acknowledge it again. That's a story to be written elsewhere. But that was the one that kind of made me go, oh, okay, we'll see. We'll see if they expound on that.
All right, well, that sort of wraps it up on Godzilla and Fantastic Beasts. Yay to Godzilla. I'd like Chewie to have the final word on this.
Chewie.
If we can. Chewie, what did you think? Chewie, what'd you think?
JT's asleep.
Chewie.
There he is.
I like the rack focus even better.
Chewie sounds exactly like Godzilla, and that is the amazing part. Stay on Chewie. We will see you guys very, very soon with more things from either Comic-Con or, let's just keep going in and out of focus. Let's just fade out.
We've lost our minds.
We've lost
But we're giving Ryan an opportunity to do his art.
Yeah.
Just let it sit there.
Let it hang, feel it.
Ooh,
Own it.
oh yeah.
There you go.
We should really wrap this though.
Yeah, we should.
No, we should do the outro. JT, we should go out.
JT.
JT.
Thank you for watching.